Okay. So think about Whole Foods, guys. So like you want to live by the 80-20 principle. So 80% of your foods are coming from whole natural sources, and the other 20% are coming from like whatever else, like the things that you feel like are just not good for you. And too much of them are not good for you, okay? But the only way, and this is why macro counting is really cool, okay? Because the only way that you can really hit your goals as far as macros go is by having these foods in there, okay? Like you lose weight eating ice cream all the time, you could, and people have done it, but you're gonna feel like crap. And I guarantee they're only counting calories and not macros. So that's the difference between macro counting and calorie counting. Your macros are gonna equal up to your calories, okay? So carbs, fats, and proteins, if you hit them all in line, they equal up to your overall calorie consumption. Um, so obviously to hit those macros, you got to have these foods in there, which is just your whole natural food. So like your paleo approaches, and then the other 20%, this will get you 80% there, and the other 20% can be like that candy bar, the dessert or whatever, the cookie, like the things that if you don't have in your life every once in a while, you're just gonna end up binging on. Okay, so that's why this is like the certified way to go long term, because if you just exclude foods from your life all the time, like what do you think that's going to do to you? That's going to make you just want it more, okay? And then you're going to overdo it on that. So this is the perfect balance of getting both, okay? So yeah, check that foods tab on there. Does anybody have any questions on like foods and how that works, like the whole foods and 80-20 principle? Nope.
There's got to be better proteins than that. Come on, man. There's two things on that list that I will eat, and it's like, no way.
Yeah, really. And this doesn't have a lot of meat, so you
Pollock, really? Pheasant? I mean, that's just, I know they're probably really high in protein, but, and I love scallops and chicken and turkey, and those are the three things I can eat, I will eat on that list. So, I've ate all of those things in the last 3 weeks, but I don't know. I need more ideas.
Yeah, really any kind of meat that you want to do, Christine, is gonna be fine. Are you a meat eater, or do you like
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean obviously like when you have fattier cuts of meat, it's gonna be harder to hit your macros where you want them to be. But like if you plan it in your day, like my favorite type of steak is like a ribeye. It's like the fattiest steak you can get, right? And
I like
I'll
New
have
York.
what's that?
Good New York is good for me.
New York is
You know, and I go for the leaner cuts, and I always get extra lean ground beef and stuff. So I'm not super, So yeah, I'm gonna have to include red meat in there too, just because that is just not gonna work for me long term. I
yeah,
can't eat 3 kinds of protein the rest of my life.
right. Yeah, I love red meat too. Like, there's nothing wrong. That's the thing is like demonizing food is just not the way to go, guys. Like, if you have energy balance, which just means you're not over excessive and you're not under where you should be, like you're gonna be fine. Like I promise you'll be fine. Most people are have diseases and sick and things like that because they're overweight. Like 90% of it is because they're overweight or over fat, so their body fat percentage is higher. And when people lose weight and get healthier off doing certain protocols like vegan, paleo, any kind of those diets, guys, it's not so much of what they were doing for the diet or the foods they were eating. It's the fact that like, hey, you cut out all the bullshit and you started eating more for like where your energy balance was. Okay. So, but people think like it's the food. It's really not the food. It's the fact that you're actually just paying attention to what you're doing. Like, and I'm not saying like go eat a bunch of shit all day long, but to think that like there's certain kind of, super foods out there that like, or foods that if you just completely stay away from, you're going to be the healthiest. Like if you overeat on broccoli, you're still going to be fat, guys. Like I hate to tell you. And being fat is the number one reason, or over fat, body fat percentage is not where it's supposed to be. BMI is not where it's supposed to be. Like that's what's causing the health issues. It's not the type of food you're eating so much as it is how much of everything you're eating. All right. So when things don't go as planned, what do? Okay. First of all, relax, okay? Because it's not the end of the world. Like, I don't know if you guys can see this little meme of my buddy here. Yeah, you guys have all survived the end of the world like 1,000 times, right? Because guess what? It never is the end of the world. You can always do a fresh start, okay? If you have a bad day, like, guess who still has bad days? Me, all the time, right? I don't stress about it. I don't try to like cut my calories the next day to make up for it. I just get up and start eating again and stick to my plan. Will it set you back a little bit? Yeah, that's fine. Like, because the problem is that like people are so short term, thinkers that like if they think they don't lose 5 pounds every single week, that was a fail. Like do like John Dunham did and don't lose weight for like 3 weeks and still stick with the program and then see what you're really made of. Like that's how you see what you're really made of. Not by losing weight every week or getting on a scale and it says a new number every time. You see what you're really made of when it's really hard. When it's like, fuck, I've been working my ass off and I'm not seeing any weight on the scale. And you start thinking about the non-scale victories. You feel better, you sleep better, you look better, you have more confidence, okay? Because the weight's going to come off if you keep doing the do. But if you stop because you got frustrated because you ate a fucking piece of bread the night before and now your weight's up 2 pounds on the scale and you think you gained 2 pounds of fat overnight, like that's what's going to throw you off. That's the mental stuff that we got to get you guys over. Nobody's gaining 2 pounds of fat overnight, I promise you. So just know when you get on that scale and the weight goes up like that, it's sodium, it's carbohydrates, it's more water intake, it's those things. It's not the fat. Unless you did a binger for like 2 weeks, and yeah, maybe then it probably is the fat, but hopefully you guys don't do that. So one thing I like to focus on when you guys go out to eat or like Christmas time and things like that. So if it's possible and you guys are in the program long enough, like we can program higher days for when we have Christmas, Christmas Eve, Thanksgiving, so you guys can eat more because you're gonna want to have some of those foods, right? Like you don't want to be the weirdo like I'm keto, so I can't have any of this bread at Thanksgiving. Like you guys should be able to eat this food, but you got to know how much of it you can have, okay? And so one thing I focus on these holidays is calories only. So like I'll give you an offer that, and your coaches will too. Like, hey, if it's Christmas and you want to just stick to calories only, like one bad day of not hitting your protein intake is not gonna kill you. This is really good strategy for like when you go on vacation and things like that too. Okay, so you get a little bit more extra calories burned and stick within your calorie ranges, okay? Because then when you come back from that vacation, like you're gonna be right where you left off or maybe even down, okay? So I like to be a little bit more active if I can and just try to keep my calories under bay. I might not stress about the protein and the carbs and the fats when I'm on vacation. That's just gonna be hard to do. I'm going out to eat. But I know like I have a plan of attack when I get back, okay? But if you let it all go, and you're like, I don't want to feel like tracking anything on my vacation. I just want to enjoy it. Like, you're not going to enjoy it when you get back. I promise you that. You're going to feel like shit, and you're going to be like, that wasn't even really worth it. So, I mean, is it work? Yeah. Is it the funnest thing to do when you're on vacation? No, but like, you got to think long term. You want to gain 5 pounds on vacation, or do you want to stay where you were, possibly be down a couple when you get back? Okay. So always just start over tomorrow. Don't try to cut calories or kill yourself in the gym or something like that. Like, don't punish yourself, guys. It's not worth it.